So, hi everyone. I am Udit from Arufa Research, the team behind StakeEasy and SecretSwap, and also a dev tooling called Polar. So, today I'll just give you first a brief introduction to what SecretSwap is, what exactly SecretSwap 2.0 is, and how it uses liquid staking and the V governance to make it more capital efficient and sustainable. Basically, have sustainable rewards to have competing rewards with the staking rewards itself, just to make it more competitive, not just within the DeFi, but comparative to how the yield is generated from other sources than Cosmos, like especially from staking, for instance, your secret within Secret Network. Then I'll jump on to give a walkthrough of how the StakeEasy contracts are and how you can interact with them, and then finally what are the different possibilities you can do on top of Secret Network or on top of Secret Swap itself. So yeah, okay. First of all, Secret Swap. The main headline says sustainable and efficient liquidity for Secret Network. It has two terms in it. One is sustainable and then efficient liquidity. By efficient liquidity, we mean that uh, previously it has just been that the AMM, especially the Secret Swap AMM, the 1.0, only had XYK pairs, which was there in Uniswap V1, Uniswap V2. If you're familiar with how AMM works, you understand that XY equal to K is a generalized swap which can be used to pair up any sort of tokens, but it comes with its own disadvantages such as impermanent loss when there is high volatility in the market. So in the past few years, there have been numerous iterations within the Ethereum ecosystem and the Cosmos ecosystem that has created a few different AMM types, which iterates over this and kind of optimizes based on a few things. For instance, there is a stable swap pair which was introduced by Curve Swap, which pairs up correlated assets or the assets which have the same underlying asset. For example, if you pair up USDC and USDT, both of these are stable coins which are backed by US dollar. So in an ideal market, these two assets would always have equal value. So based on this assumption, you can have a pair which does not produce a lot of volatility, which assumes these two assets to be of equal value. And so what this allows is that anyone who is trading on this pair can trade a larger amount with much lower slippage. And since that's the case, these pairs do end up having much lower fees. And the fees percentage is also set to very minimal to allow uh, more volume of trades to be executed through it. And anyone who's providing liquidity to such pools does not face any kind of impermanent loss, because again, it's a stable pair where like the ratio you add the liquidity to, you can withdraw the same ratio anytime you want. So essentially giving more capital efficiency on the trading side and giving lower risk for anyone who's providing liquidity. There's another iteration which came with Uniswap V3 was concentrated pairs, which kind of allows you to have concentrated liquidity, meaning that anyone who's providing liquidity can choose for which price range they want their liquidity to be utilized. So that one example could be that you can say that, okay, I don't want anyone to trade on my liquidity if price of if let's say ETH USDC's pair is trading above 2000 or below 1500. So I want my liquidity to be traded only if the price of ETH is within the range of 1500 USDC to 2000 USDC. And what that allows is that whenever you withdraw your liquidity or deposit or withdraw liquidity, uh, there cannot be a case where you withdraw your liquidity, the ratio is either more than 2000 USDC or lower than 1500 USDC. So now you have limited your amount of impermanent loss that can happen. So this range, you can stretch it out as much as you want. You can narrow it down as much as you want. If you narrow it too much, it'll hardly be used if the price goes out of this range. But if it does end up being in this range, most of your liquidity will be consumed within for this particular pair, and you will get a higher amount of fees for the corresponding liquidity you provide. So most of the cases, what happen it in theory, you can say that this is sort of moving away from being an automatic market maker to being a partially automatic market maker. Because now you as a liquidity provider are deciding on which range you want to provide your liquidity, basically making you a sort of an input into how you want to add the liquidity and basically do market making. So we do support currently stable swaps, but we don't yet support concentrated liquidity pairs. This thing is planned for our future upgrades. And so this document essentially is the white paper we launched a couple of months ago. It kind of highlights what the secret network itself is and how it provides privacy-based smart contracts and how we have utilized in SecretSwap 2.0. And then it summarizes what the current state of automatic market making is, what are the different algorithms available. Then it shifts to what are the current challenges in the current landscape that SecretSwap approaches to solve. And then it goes into this governance model called V governance. So that's the second term we have used, is the sustainable liquidity. What we mean by that is in most of the swap pairs, if there is not much of the, if there is not enough liquidity, these pairs are incentivized with tokens. This could be tokens that are the protocol's governance token, or could be some external token, which kind of incentivizes people to provide more liquidity into these pairs, which so increased incentives causes more liquidity to be present in these pairs, allowing more capital efficient swaps. But when these incentives are provided, these incentives kind of lead to higher inflation and are not sustainable, because now the inflation is so high that it's hard to keep the value of the incentives that the protocol is providing or some other external entity is providing. And these incentives are not just based upon how much the volume that certain pair is generating. For example, you want incentives to be in those pairs that are generating high fees. And so, sort of along those lines, and kind of democratizing how incentives are given, this V governance model was launched. I think the V governance model was first adopted by Curve Swap. So, in two lines, what this does is that the governance token of the protocol can be deposited or staked into the protocol for for a variation of deposit period. So if you stake for a longer period, let's say it could vary from a few months to few years. So let's say if you stake for 2 months, or if you stake for 4 years. If you stake for 4 years, you will get much higher voting power. That means because now you are aligning your tokens, uh, essentially your capital, for a longer term with the protocol itself, meaning that you should get more governance right into choosing how the incentives should be used. And anyone who deposited their staking, whoever deposits a governance token into the protocol itself, gets these voting rights, and these voting rights can be used to vote upon which pair will get how much percentage of the total inflation of the protocol itself. And now you'd ask that how does that actually solve the problem of sustained incentives? So the answer is that now the community itself, the community of the protocol itself has control over who gets, which pair gets incentives and how much does it get. First, it solves a problem that no pair has to make a particular request to the governance saying that, okay, I've listed my pair and now I want incentives for it because of ABC reasons. And this is the amount we are requesting from the, let's say, the treasury itself. So the amount itself cannot be judged whether this amount is fair or not. And all the incentives are not given at the same time. One pair might ask for incentives this week, another pair might list another week, and then at that time they put out the proposal. So the time lag is allowed within these. So if you have V governance, what it allows is that every week, whatever is the percentage of vote for each pair will be distributed to the corresponding pairs. For example, let's say there is 1,000 secret per day being distributed as incentives for all the pair on SecretSwap. And there are, let's say, 5 pools. And for the first pool, 20% of vote is given. So let's say like all the pools have 20% vote allocated by the voters. So each pair will get 200 secret as incentives per day. Now, next week, it could be that one of the pair gets 30% votes. So now this pair will get 300 secret and the rest of pairs will get distribution from that remaining 700 secret. Every week, since this thing is changing every week, now the community itself is reacting on how well that particular pair is performing. It could be that certain pair is now high in demand and people are trading more of that pair and it's generating more volume and more fees. So it makes sense to provide more incentives to that pair instead of the other one. Or it could be that that particular pair is providing more external incentives to those who add liquidity to it. It could be numerous other cases. So basically, essentially, removing the uh, decision from the development team or the proposals and giving that decision to the community itself and allowing the community to change that decision every week. And it's done automatically all throughout every week. So that's one part of it. Another part of making the incentive sustainable is that, especially in Cosmos, what happens is that, let's say within every Cosmos chain, there is one token, which is the gas token itself. In case of Secret Network, it's SCRT token. So the SCRT token uh, is used as the gas token. It's also used as the token to stake. It's also used as the same as the token to which goes into the community pool and then is distributed to people to uh, utilize within the community. Could be a grant, could be any spending, which kind of indirectly benefits the network itself. So now, since this gas token itself is the first token and the token with the most utility within the network, and that exactly is the case with Secret Network. If you look at uh, what are the tokens present in Secret Network, one is the SCRT token. Another are the SNP20 tokens such as Sienna, Shade, Alter, etc. So I think if you combine the total liquidity of all of these SNP20 token, it would still be lower than the liquidity that's present within Secret Network for SCRT token. And another thing that happens is that so one thing people can do with their SCRT token if they want some passive income out of it, or so they can deposit this SCRT token into a validator, getting some yield from the shared inflation within the network, which is given as an incentive to saying that, okay, now you have deposited your secret token into a validator, meaning that now this token would be utilized to secure the network itself. And that's the incentive you're getting for securing the network. So currently that APR sits at roughly 24%. So if let's say there's a DeFi protocol like a DEX or a lending protocol or a Vault, or maybe let's say an options protocol or any other DeFi you can think about. Now, in order to attract any sort of liquidity, that protocol needs to provide incentives, especially for the secret token itself, for secret token depositors, because that's the most liquid token out there within the secret network itself. So for them to attract this SCRT token to be deposited into their protocol, they have to either be really popular protocol that everyone wants to ape into, or they have to provide much more passive income than that 24% is giving uh, once you are sticking to a validator. So that's one of the major problems within the Cosmos network. So currently, I think 68% of all of the secret that's in circulation is deposited within validators. It's staked. So it cannot be used directly into the DeFi itself. Now, the rest of 33%, if you want to attract that also, you have to outbeat the 24% APR. That's where our approach comes into play, where we have Stake Easy, which is a liquid staking derivative. A liquid staking derivative is essentially saying that if you're depositing your secret to a validator, you can deposit it through a contract which will issue you corresponding B secret or SC secret, which is a SNP20 token or a SNP25 now, which represents your stake with a validator. Saying that, let's say I have 100 secret, I deposit through the contract. Now I'll have B secret or SC secret, whichever I choose, which will correspond to the 100 secret I have deposited, and it will also correspond to the staking yield I'm accruing over time. So after 1 year, whenever I withdraw that same amount of B secret or SC secret, I should get roughly around 124 secret. So now you have deposited your secret into a validator, which is giving you 24% yield. And now you have received a B secret or SC secret. Now this is a token that is backed by actual staked secret. So this token itself represents some value. So if you send this token out there to anyone else saying that, okay, this represents my 100 stake token, stake secret. So you can take this as assuming that it is 100 secret, because if you withdraw it after 21 days, you will get 100 secret. So this represents that value. Now, if it does represent that value, I can deposit that into a DEX or a lending protocol or any other DeFi protocol. And now this DeFi protocol can utilize that as liquidity. So what ends up happening is that you did not lose out on your 24% staking yield. And on top of that, it won't have to be the case that, let's say there comes a DeFi protocol which gives you 50% APR, and let's say most of the staked secret moves to that. Now the amount of staked secret is just 20% of all the circulating supply, which kind of puts the network itself to risk, because now anyone can buy out a lot of secret from the open market and stake and be the majority staker within the network itself and control the network. So essentially, like de-risking that part. And so that's one benefit of this. The second benefit is that uh, all the DeFi protocols would not have to compete with these staking rewards, but can include that staking rewards within the protocol and give a yield on top of that also, making it much more attractive than anyone who wants to choose between DeFi and stake out. They can choose both. So yeah, I'll just quickly go over how this approach is done. I have a few diagrams over here. So yeah, this diagram just represents how users can use. So traditionally, any user can stake their secret to a validator, or they can provide their token. Let's say they can provide some liquidity for secret and another token into a secret and that token pair. But with our approach, you can essentially deposit your secret and that other token. The pool itself will convert that secret into B secret. And since this B secret, the secret that's deposited into StakeEasy is now deposited into multiple validators. Now, why is this not just one validator, but multiple validators? Is because that there's another risk once you're staking your secret with any validator, is that I think currently there are 80 validators within Secret Network. So if, for example, most of the users choose to stake with one validator, it could be the case that one validator gets more than 50% of the voting power, because more than 50% of all staked secret is staked with that validator itself. And again, that can lead to network being controlled by that validator only. Whatever that validator, let's say there's a malicious proposal within the community spend that says that, okay, transfer all of the community pool funds to this particular address. And if that validator votes yes, it does actually end up being executed. So that's harmful for the network itself. So within StakeEasy, the approach is that we'll not just stake to one validator, we'll stake to 10 validators at a time, kind of depositing equal amounts to each of the validator. And these validator set will also be cycled through every 21 days. So kind of de-risking that. After that, there's an explanation of how the weak governance work, how the DAO works. You can go through the details. And then, yeah. So one more question arises is that if, let's say, the liquidity pairs are not in secret, but in B secret, how would anyone trade their secret token with some other token or back from that token to secret? We have one pool which will be kind of like an anchor pool for the whole of the protocol itself, which is B secret secret. Now, this pool, again, since B secret can be redeemed for secret, these two tokens are correlated to each other and would have equal value in an idealistic market. So this pair is a stable pair, meaning that it's very low fee and very low slippage. So, and no impermanent loss. So anyone who provides liquidity to this pool will not face any impermanent loss and will drive more incentives towards this pool, so that there's higher liquidity in this pool compared to the other pools in the protocol itself. Now, with this pool, what can be done is this is diagram explaining how the unbonding of the rewards happen. So, for example, one could be the case where someone wants to swap their secret, let's say with Sienna token. The secret will go into B secret secret pool. It will convert it to B secret. Then B secret will go into B secret token pair, and that B secret will convert it to that token and return to the user. So anyone who's trading within the protocol will not have to convert their secret into B secret or back. They just have to. So it will be just a similar trading experience that you have seen before with any AMM that does not have liquid staking integration. So you won't, as a trader, you won't have to understand what liquid staking is or whether you have to convert secret to B secret or SC secret. Same goes with the other way around. If you want to convert any token to secret, you can go this way. The third case arrives where, let's say, you're converting, for example, you're converting atom to Osmo. There could be a pair B secret atom, there is a pair B secret Osmo. So let's say you're converting atom to Osmo. It'll go convert Osmo to B secret and then B secret to atom, return to the user. So essentially, no difference while you're trading the pairs. Now, the liquidity itself, and one more benefit is that once you're providing liquidity to these pairs, if you're providing liquidity to B secret secret or B secret token pair, half of your liquidity, which is B secret, is now accruing staking rewards. And these staking rewards will be converted as external incentives, and you can claim those anytime you want as a user. So essentially, you're getting the trading fees, you're getting the external incentives, and you're getting the protocols incentives plus the staking rewards from the secret you have in the pool. So yeah, we have the secret swap live on testnet right now. So you can go through this URL. I'll also share this URL within the chat after this call. And yeah, I'll just show you. So currently it does not have B secret pools because we are finalizing the stakes interface, and probably by tomorrow, day after tomorrow, we'll have B secret pool on the testnet itself. But with the current setup, you can see that how liquidity is provided, how liquidity is withdrawn, how liquidity is bonded, unbonded, how rewards are being accrued, and how to do a swap. Just to get hang of how the UX is working, or if there are any issues, you can report to us. Here, I've already connected my wallet. So this is live on testnet. If you don't have any secret, you can just go to this link faucet, and it'll give you some test tokens. So now you have test SCRT tokens. You need to first convert that SCRT into SSCRT. Can do using the wrap function here. Now you'll have some SSCRT, sorry, which you can take. Let's say I want to trade it for Juno, or let's say I want to trade it for Juno. I would convert my NSCRT into Juno. Someone checked it. Oh, sorry. Yep. Yeah. Oh, I think someone messed up with the liquidation, but yeah, this does not actually represent the actual value of these tokens because these are test tokens. And yeah, so once you choose whatever you want to convert your token to the output token, it will show you what the route it goes through. And one of the benefits of having just the B secret or S secret pools is that now every other asset is paired with secret. So whenever you are trading any token with any other token, it'll only have at max 2 or 3 swap pairs within that route. For example, here it's one direct pair. Or it could be the case, let's say in this case, it goes from secret to STC to then USDT. You can see there are examples where like the swap pairs are not paired with just one common asset. What it leads to is that sometimes the route ends up being too long that it trades through 5 or 6 pairs. So you're paying fees on every of that pair, essentially increasing your trading fees and decreasing your trading experience. So that's one benefit of having just the B secret pairs here. And yeah, here this is how you can do a swap. Once you click the swap, it will open a Kepler prompt, and you can basically try it out on your own and just see how it goes for you. After that, here's the liquidity pool. You can see how much liquidity is currently present and how much is the current total amount. And there's also a bonding APR. You can see that I've already deposited some amount. I can manage my liquidity. I can add more liquidity, or I can remove liquidity. I can even further bond it. So if you want to get liquidity incentives, you have to bond your liquidity. I think so for testnet right now, there is no bonding period, but for mainnet, there will be a bonding period, which will run out some off. And once you bond your token, you get the governance token, which is slick for SecretSwap 2.0. And this shows you how much is the bonding APR right now. And yeah, so that's how you can use it. Sorry. Other than that, we have a new interface for Stake Easy. So this is currently being finalized. There are a few corners to be fixed. This probably will be live by tomorrow or day after. So here, if you have used Stake Easy before within Secret, you must know that the liquid staking token is SecSecret, but we are launching this new model for Stake Easy. Essentially, you can say it's Stake Easy 2.0, which adds a B secret alongside SecSecret. So the difference being that why we have chosen B secret for liquidity pairs for SecretSwap is that SecSecret, like any other liquid staking token within Cosmos, may be provided by any other, like you are familiar with, there are numerous liquid staking providers within Cosmos. All of them have a very common model for liquid staking, is that there's a derivative token similar to SecSecret, which kind of increases in value, meaning that one SecSecret will yield you more secret over time as the staking rewards are generated. So that leads to one SecSecret not being equal to SecSecret always, but the ratio kind of shifts towards one way all the time and with a fixed rate. With B secret, the staking rewards are not uh, generated in the value of the token itself, but the number of tokens gets increased. So if I stake, let's say if I stake my secret for B secret, even if I stake, let's say 10,000 secret, I'll get 10,000 B secret. And whenever I unstake, I'll get the same 1:1 ratio. Now, where does the staking rewards go? Is that once you stake your B secret and you hold that in your wallet, over time, you will accrue some staking rewards, which you can see here. It'll show you how much. Oh, sorry, this needs to be fixed, but yeah, this will be fixed. Yeah. So what will happen is that, let's say you hold 100 B secret over 1 year. In your reward section, you will see that there is 24 secret for you to be claimed, which you can claim. So essentially, you got your 24 secret, and once you unstake your B secret, your 100 B secret, you will get 100 secret back. Now you have a total of 124 secret, same as the case was with SC secret. Now, why do it this way? Is once you provide the liquidity for B secret, now since this B secret token is always 1:1 with secret, it does not have any impermanent loss. But in case of SC secret, it used to have a small impermanent loss over a long time. So you can do some mathematics based upon, let's say, 24% inflation. And if you provide that liquidity, the impermanent loss would be roughly around, I would say, like 10 to 15% something. So you are losing your staking rewards because there's an added fixed impermanent loss because of this ratio shift. So here, uh, B secret is always one secret. After 1 year, you still have the same amount of liquidity. So that, I'm sorry. So that fixed impermanent loss we used to have will not happen here. And so with this interface, what you can do is that I think tomorrow we'll list out more pools here where we'll have B secret pools. We'll have B secret Atom, B secret USDC, B secret Slick, and a couple of others. What you can do right now is that you can stake your secret, get some B secret from this interface, take it over to here, and deposit that into a pool, and now you'll get some staking rewards. Also, you will also get whatever the pool incentives are being provided for that particular pool. And there's one more detail is that since I mentioned earlier that once you hold B secret in your wallet, then only you will get these rewards. So if you're depositing your B secret into a pool, now that pool address has the ownership of B secret. So all of the staking rewards will be claimable by that contract. And we have implemented the logic where like those staking rewards that can be claimed by the pool contract are being redirected to the liquidity provider. So you as a liquidity provider can also claim your B secret rewards if you have liquidity in a pair. That's another. Moving on to what are the RFPs that we have mentioned. First is that there can be a yarn like what. So yarn, if anyone is familiar with Ethereum or like the EVM DeFi ecosystem, what yarn does is that it kind of automates your strategy to get some yield from within DeFi. Like within DeFi, you can have secret deposit into a lending protocol, deposit into a DEX, or deposit into staking or liquid staking. Now, these 3-4 ways can give you different amount of yield based upon how much volume they're generating and based upon how much fees they're generating, and they have their own different risk profiles. the vault, what it does is that it already has a blueprint of what to do every day, how to compound the yield you're getting. For example, there could be a vault which says that uh, I have some secret I want to deposit into B secret pool or SC secret pool, and whatever yield I'm getting, I just want to convert it back to secret every day and deposit back into the pool, essentially allowing me to compound my yield. But that vault is doing that every day, not you as a user. So that's one contract you can build where it's a simple contract based and like deployed on secret network testnet, which takes a deposit, secret deposit from user, splits that into B secret and secret, deposits that on into the pool, and holds CLP token, and every day makes a call to the pool saying that withdraw my liquidity rewards, convert it back to secret, split it again, provide that as liquidity into the pair, allowing your yield to compound every day instead of just being accumulated over time. So that's one thing you can do. Another thing you can do is that you can choose to create a vault where user deposit their USDC and they can get some passive yield from different, that could be a lending protocol like CNL, and that could be so one thing you can also do is that you can take your USDC, borrow secret against it, and then deposit into this pair, and then again compound the rewards and use those rewards to pay back the USDC loan you have taken. That's another way to do it. Like, you're free to create such strategies. I'm just giving you 2 or 3 examples of what you can do. Second is you can build an arbitrage bot. So here, with liquid staking tokens such as ours, B Secret and SC Secret, there is always an arbitrage opportunity, because any user who is holding a liquid staking token can convert it to the unstaked token. In our case, from B Secret to Secret, either by unstaking it directly through StakeEasy, basically unbonding that secret from the validator and waiting 21 days to give you that unstaked amount, or you can swap that with within this pool, for example, within the B secret pool. Now, the amount of secret you will get will differ based upon where you've done it. So it always happens that if you swap B secret to secret instead of directly unstaking it, you'll always get some lower amount of secret, because now you are skipping that 21 day, and because of that 21 day skip, there's a discount, there's a premium, you can say, essentially, which kind of happens because, like, most people who have staked their tokens are withdrawing through this and skewing this ratio a bit. So the arbitrage happens is that now people get lower amount of secret from B secret if they swap, but will get higher amount of B secret from secret if they swap the other way around. So let's say for example, there's a 5% difference between, let's assume that one B secret is now trading at 0.95 secret because someone unstaked a lot of B secret through the pool. Now, what you can do as an arbitrage bot is buy up that B secret at 0.95 secret and unstake it with StakeEasy, wait 21 days and get secret at 1:1. So now you have increased your amount of secret by 5%. And then you can do that again every 21 days and look for opportunities for these pairs. Like, there could be multiple routes to unstake through different pools, whichever is giving you the most. So that's one arbitrage you can do, basically allowing a vault that can do this arbitrage. And whatever yield this arbitrage will generate will be let's say, the APR for anyone who is depositing into secret into this pool. That's the second RFP. And so this does not just apply to SecretSwap, because within Cosmos, there are multiple liquid staking providers, and the same case happens with them. So there are liquid staking pools, not just for Secret, but for other Cosmos assets like Atom, Osmo, Juno. Like, we also have B Juno Juno, SC Juno Juno pair on Windex, which is an AMM on Juno network. So this can be further, like, we would expect you to build this arbitrage bot for secret swap pairs, and then extend it to include other IBC connected DEXs through the secret network. And for this, you can utilize I think recently there has been a support added for anyone to call IBC message through secret network contracts. Those you can utilize to say that, okay, anyone who deposits any atom to my vault, this atom I'll use to arbitrage on osmosis or wind wherever this liquid stick atom is present. And I'll get back the atom from that. And this will be the APR of that vault itself. That's second. Third is you can build an analytics dashboard. There are numerous examples of analytics dashboard for different X's. You can see one example for osmosis. You can see example uh, within the Ethereum ecosystem. There are analytics for all of the major DEXs like Uniswap, SushiSwap, PancakeSwap. All of these have very detailed dashboards, which kind of lists you what's the everyday volume for the whole protocol and for each of the pair, what's the historical price has been for each pair within the protocol or outside the protocol on centralized exchanges, if those same tokens are listed somewhere else also. So those kind of analytics can be built out. And you can also think about different analytics that are not yet present in other uh, dashboards within other DEXs that can help SecretSwap. So that is also welcome. The fourth one is related to the V governance model we have. So since we actually don't have the governance interface completed right now, once it's completed, it will be linked here. The estimated time for that, you can assume 3 or 4 days. But if you want, let's say, if you are building on top of it, you can contact me directly. I'll share with you the testnet addresses for the pairs, the factory contract, the stake contracts, the router contract, and the gauges or the voting contract itself. And I'm also happy to jump on any call to explain to you how these contracts work or how the interaction with these contracts work, like how to make a certain query or a certain execute transaction directly to the contract through CNI or through a script. And so, yeah, this fourth RFP is, so as I mentioned before, the V governance was first adopted by Curve Finance for their liquidity pairs. There came another protocol called Convex. What it does is that now the CVX token, which is the governance token the CRV token, which is the governance token for Curve Finance, which you stake to the protocol, you get VCRV, which is the V governance token. Now, the amount of V governance you get is based upon how much amount you deposited and for how long you deposited. So the longer you deposit, you'll get more voting rights and you'll get a higher APR. And so it kind of creates a similar case where like you're locking up your token and get some incentives and voting rights for it, which is quite similar to how staking works within Cosmos. That you have your secret token, you deposit that with a validator, you lock it up, and you get some governance right, and you get some passive yield from it. And hence there is liquid staking derivative for it. So Convex is like a liquid staking derivative for the V governance model that Curve provides. So what Convex does is that it says that you don't have to come and say that you don't have to decide on your own how much longer you want to stake your Curve token, but instead you just deposit to our protocol. We'll kind of like distribute it into multiple bonding periods, and what the yield you will get will be kind of like average of these. And since we are smartly depositing into multiple bonding periods, we'll have most of the time a good amount of liquid Curve token for anyone to come and say that, okay, I want to withdraw my deposited Curve. And you will essentially be skipping the whole staking period, which is quite similar to liquid staking. So that model you can apply for the V Slick governance, saying that here's my protocol, which you deposit your Slick token to. You don't have to choose your bonding period. You can just deposit and get a good amount of yield, and you can stake anytime you want, and you also get some voting rights. So that's the fourth thing. We have the stake easy contracts public, but only the Juno ones, not the secret ones, because we'll only make them public once you go to mainnet. And the secret swap contracts will also be made public within the next week. So yeah, I'll link this repo. So these contracts are like 90% similar to what we have with the B secret model on the secret network contracts. Only major difference is that here in the secret contracts case, there's added privacy on top of it. but the core logic remains the same. So if you want to understand how the core logic of our liquid staking works, how these two token can be converted to each other, and how the staking of that gas token, Juno in case of Juno network, Secret in case of Secret network, is handled to multiple validators, how's that redistributing, and essentially like 3 or 4 of those features that I just mentioned. You just go through the contracts. There are 4 contracts, 2 contracts for the B token and SC token, 1 contract which to which you deposit. It's a staking contract. The fourth contract which handles the B Juno staking rewards. So through this contract, you essentially claim your staking rewards for B Juno, and this keep tracks of how much B Juno you hold. So anytime you deposit your secret for B secret, it keeps track that okay, now you have your wallet has got some B secret. It starts to keep track saying that okay, whatever amount of B secret you're holding, I'll keep track of that as long as you hold it, and I'll keep track of how much staking rewards you should get corresponding to that. And once you, let's say, directly transfer it to some other wallet, I'll also update myself and say that now that this person has sent it to some other wallet, now this wallet, this new wallet will start to get the B secret rewards instead of the first one. So that tracking of all those rewards happen here. That's just the high level explanation. You can go through these contracts. If you have any doubts, ping me on Discord. I'll be happy to help. Yeah, thanks. Now, I think if any of you have any questions, just unmute yourself and let me know.
Thank you. That was super comprehensive. Does anyone here have any questions? There's no dumb questions. We're all just here to learn.
Yeah, you can ask literally any question, but it should be relevant to this topic. So,
If no one has questions specific to the contracts, I guess could you just talk about like how you started working in Web3 and what it's been like building out your own protocols and just what that journey's been like?
yeah, definitely. So, in our case, when I started working in Web3, we actually started with Secret Network back in. I started to learn about blockchain in general in January 21, and my co-founder Amit, who was actually already working with Algorand, he was building some developer tooling there, and I was discussing a few things with him just to understand like how what's the development ecosystem like within blockchain, because like whoever is not well versed with Web3 would only start to learn about it. They would first see the hype that okay, prices are going up and down and things are happening. It's unregulated and people are like getting either rich or wrecked from it. So, but no one much talks about how the tech actually works and how it's evolving. So, yeah, I discussed that with him. So, we came up with this thing that, okay, why not we collaboratively do some work? So, we stumbled upon Cosmos, especially Secret Network, and we saw that, okay, this is, I think at that time, Secret Network was the only Cosmos chain with smart contracts enabled. Uno was not live at that time, and Osmosis did not have smart contracts. So we started to see that, okay, this is an emerging technology which has promise. And since Amit had some experience with developing tooling, especially in Algorand, which is uh, quite similar to, you can say, okay, that it's understood that how developer experience should be. So we discussed that. I got to understand how smart contracts work, and we saw that what are the current pain points within the Cosm Wasm ecosystem. So we developed Polar. We got the grant from Secret Labs for building it. We developed it from September. So we developed the whole of the grant milestone from September 21 to December 21. And after that, we continued to add more features to it. We are still developing a lot on it. Actually, Amit has a talk on that developer tooling within the next few days. And yeah, that was when I think in December, then we decided that, okay, we now understand that how smart contracts work. We now understand there are emerging DeFi protocols that have actual uh, real world utility, like doing, creating an exchange, creating lending, borrowing, creating stable coins thing, and then maybe later doing some derivatives, perpetuals and options. So these are real world things that are being done in the traditional finance and start to emerge within the trustless ecosystem of that blockchain provides. And again, with the added functionality of having privacy on top, you can do a much more in terms of how the utility is provided by the protocol itself. So we saw that okay, there's a thing called as liquid staking, which makes a lot of sense. I think I read about it. I read about Lido. I understood that okay, this is what staking is. This is what proof of stake is. And we saw that okay, Secret Network it's already a proof of stake, and the inflation is much more higher. So I think on Ethereum it's 4%. So liquid staking doesn't make that much sense. If like liquid staking made a lot of sense a week before this before the Shanghai upgrade, because like withdrawals were not allowed, so like you cannot unstake your staked Ethereum. So if you had a liquid staked ETH, you can swap it back to Ethereum through Curve Finance or Uniswap. But uh, but yeah, uh, I just explained that why liquid staking makes a lot of sense. So first, we started with Stake Easy. We deployed that in March 22 to Secret Network mainnet, and then we kind of redid the model, introduced the B token, released that on June, or I think in August. After that, we have been improving that model. We have been working on SecretSwap. We have also made a lot of upgrades to Polar in that time. And yeah, so finally, we are launching that new model, the Secret Network, this month, and the SecretSwap itself.
Awesome. Well, congrats on all your success and progress in such a short time. Super cool. Does anyone have any further questions on Stake Easy or Secret Swap?
Oh, good afternoon. Oh, good. I don't know what time it is. Okay, it's evening here. I'm in Kenya right now, and it's evening here. I don't know what time it is on your side.
On my side, it's a bit later than evening. It's around 8:30.
Oh, okay. Okay. So my question is, okay, this something I'm visualizing. I don't know. Like I've heard of projects trying to implement real world assets in DeFi. For example, if you talk of something like is it Centrifuge? I think it's Centrifuge, Bolster, and the likes. Okay, those are centrifuges on Polkadot. I don't know what where Boston is on. So I'm asking, is there a way that you can implement the same on Secret Network, but have a little bit of like mask it a little bit? Because I I had an idea in relation to that, and I wonder if we can. Do we use the same principles that I used in places like SecretSwap? The SecretSwap is not really okay, like the staking on SecretSwap and the likes, or like on shared protocol, the way you can use liquidity and all those things. Is it is it something that is applicable with privacy or something? I don't know. Like I'm just visualizing.
So, your question is about producing real world assets on chain on Secret Network, right?
Yeah, something of that kind.
Okay, I'm not that familiar with how real world assets are issued on chain, but yeah, definitely, I think if that has been done on other chains, it can for sure be done on Secret Network. Just have to see how it has to be implemented within Cosmosm, because I think if you look at synthetics, they have created a system where like you can issue real world assets like real stocks on chain, maybe like I think on chain gold and other commodities has been done. Maybe look into how Comdex work, because like since that is Dex for commodities, I'm not sure if they do actually have support for real world assets on chain. But yeah, definitely possible. Just have to look into how it has to be implemented and how other teams within the Cosmos ecosystem have implemented it. And if not, how within the Ethereum ecosystem it has been done, especially with synthetics. And maybe some uh, some logic can be understood from how USDC and USDT are done, because those are again backed by real world assets, which are US Treasury bonds and actual US dollar. So that's one place I think you can look into.
Like okay, like I've been studying I've been studying a lot. Okay, since I do a lot of research in this field, so I've been studying a lot about in with lens to real world asset tokenization and how it can be implemented. And I'm thinking, you know, just like in the traditional finance, okay, not just using as collateral, but you can swap it for another. And you could exchange your real world tokens somehow in the DeFi platforms for other tokens, like buy them or something. Or we could have a representational format of the real world assets and then have vaults that are all in the real world assets. And then we can exchange them for something else and even use them for staking and even just the same way you buy other tokens on chain. If we could do that on chain, so something of that kind, like that's the thing I'm thinking. I don't know if we can implement it on secret network, and I don't know if okay. Currently, I know that the real world assets, most of them are the far they've gotten with it is like just landing and collateralizing it, and it does not have privacy. It's just on chain on public chains. Yeah, so they just do it without any collaterals. They just do an exchange without. I mean, they just do lending with collaterals. Maybe they reward asset as a collateral. Yeah, but it hasn't been uncovered fully. Yeah, though there are research papers that talk about it, like the recent, there's a research paper that Binance released recently. I don't know, it's earlier. I think it's earlier this year, somewhere in this year. And it was talking about real world assets and tokenization in something related. Yeah, so that's it.
Yeah, I think the idea has uh, some real good utilities to it. But I think the main problem with issuing real world assets, especially on a privacy preserving chain, is that it attracts a lot of regulatory issues. So that's, I think, one of the main hurdles why there hasn't been any large scale real world asset issuance, not just for, let's say, currencies like US dollar, like currencies like US dollar has been, but then again, that has been under scrutiny. But yeah, like, because it's really hard to keep track of whether the issuing, for instance, let's say I create a protocol issuing gold on chain. There is no easy way for anyone who holds this digital gold or maybe the on chain representation of gold to see whether I actually have that much amount of gold that I have issued on the chain itself. So so maybe if, let's say, there's a robust mechanism to figure out that thing and do it maybe in a trustless way, I don't know how that would happen, but if that do end up happening, then definitely this thing will create a lot of adoption. So yeah, that I think that what makes sense to me.
Yeah, something of that kind. But for the gold, okay, for the gold, I understand boxes have a vault of gold. Like they do have vaults that contain gold, so that's what they. It's a one Pax G is tradable for one gold bar, something of that kind. And then for Theta troops, yes, they also have gold vaults. Yeah, that's based on my research and what they say and the papers, what they write. Yeah, thank you though. Glad.
Yeah, thanks a lot for the question, by the way.
Well, I think we're at time. So, Uda, thank you so much for coming today and speaking about Stake Easy and Secret Swap 2.0 and for being a sponsor of HackSecret. Really appreciate you being here and sharing your knowledge and excited to see what everybody builds this month.
Yeah, thanks a lot for having me. Yeah, looking forward to the hackathon and what people come up with. So yeah, really excited. Thanks.
All right. Thanks, everyone.